Hey there, all my YouTube people. Wow, a bedhead like crazy. So, hang on a sec here. So, in trying to sell this 335 and then deciding not to sell it, I got asked a lot of questions. This has to be the most troublesome guitar I've ever tried to sell. I probably had 111 or something, like, clicks on Marketplace, with a bunch of people just trying to trade. Nobody wanted to pay for this thing. You know, everybody wanted to trade something for it or whatever. Guys, this guitar is worth $300 all day. It's perfect, and I've just decided I'm keeping it. It's mine. Keep an eye out for it. It might wind up there again, but I got asked a lot of questions, and a lot of the questions I got asked were like, what can this thing do? Like, what's a 335 like capable of? Is it limited because of its, you know, hollow and everything like that? So I'm going to kind of try and answer some of those questions today. Mine might sound a little bit weird because I'm trying a set of half rounds on this, so they're semi-flat wound strings. So this is completely unplugged. Okay, the volume's all the way down. That's just the acoustics of the thing. And I know it's not that much more acoustic than, say, a Les Paul. Okay? And if I turn the volume up and just give you a little, you know, it sounds like a Les Paul. Like I say, people just think that playing a 335 is going to be just like so wildly like different and everything, and it just isn't really. Sorry guys, like I said, new strings, so it's going through this thing, and it's in a different state of humidity. So neck. I'm basically playing through what you'd probably call like a 2x10, I guess. Of course, this model has the coil splits, which sounds very good. I'm not a huge fan of the Probucker pickups, but I think what I'm going to do is just play with my modeler here until I find a tone set that sounds really good. This is both. I like that sound. But it's a Les Paul. The half rounds make it sound more strange than anything else. it is very... Okay, I mean, so that's a 335. I mean, and I'll tell you guys this. These are only semi-hollows, so like right here, really, there's a big block of wood. You can totally see it, and it's, I mean, this is actually slightly lighter than a Les Paul. So, you know, you get your Gibson or your Epiphone name, you now get your Kalamazoo headstock, a gorgeous paint. These things are great now. I mean, if you see one of these hanging in the store on sale for like $3.99, man, I'd get one. I know it seems huge and everything, but really for me, it being lighter than a Les Paul and still being kind of, you know, able to do quite a bit of stuff is important. I mean, I think it's just a perfectly capable lead machine, and that's with these Pro Bucker pickups, which I'm not hugely in love with. That would be a big disadvantage of a 335, though. If you're gonna go with a 335, you have to accept that you're either going to have to do one of three things. One, accept that these are the electronics you have, and you're just going to have to find a patch and set up a patch in your modeler that makes them sound good. Modeling it at least makes that possible these days. You can make just absolute crap pickups almost sound good. But that is a little annoying to have to kind of come up with a patch for like every guitar like the Edge does. The Edge would be fine with that, but I like to use just a few settings. So, you know, just find a setting or make a setting that works to make your electronics sound good. Or you're going to have to take this thing to a guitar shop, or you're going to have to do it yourself, and like there's no backplate, guys. So this involves like taking these knobs off, putting strings on these, and then fishing this all out of the pickup cavities, strings attached. Then you have to wire your harness up and do everything outside of the guitar, then drag it all back in with the strings and, you know, tighten it all back up. Now, that is very time consuming and everything like that, and most of us just don't have time for that. Another thing I will give this is I have a shoulder injury, and this gives me a really nice place to kind of keep my arm. Like my arm hanging really in any way is very uncomfortable. My shoulder just almost can't take the weight of my arm consistently anymore, so that feels nice. And having this shoulder injury, a lot of guitars that kind of have big shapes like this tend to make my shoulder click in and out of socket. And this guitar doesn't seem to do that. I'm able to kind of, there's sort of a, it's not tearing me up. There's enough of a little contour here that it's comfortable. It's a great guitar. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about it. I really do kind of I'll say I'm not sure I'm a fan of these flat wound strings. I might take them off of there. The Les Paul I just sold has a set of cobalts on it, so I might trade the cobalts out for these, or I just put Black Beauties on that SG over there. I could put those on this too and probably be pretty happy with them, but I'm not sure I'm in love with the flat wound. Although I will say that these semi-flat wound strings are just fine. There's no real reason to go full flat wound. They're very quiet. They're quieter than, I will say, they're quieter even than coated strings. If you could put up with half rounds, if that would be just, I mean, I could be talking. Yeah, so a nice guitar, but kind of awkward for small spaces like an RV. Like I am literally over here, like by my dilapidated old fridge that doesn't work anymore, and my headstock here is about a foot and a half away from this, and it's just a big guitar to play in a small space, which is why I tend to play like a Strat in here or a DK24 or something like that. And big stuff like this 335 and my Explorer and everything like that. My V is here. It is equally as awkward, if not more awkward, to play in here. I ended up having to blue tape the fins on that. By the way, guys, I was on Guitar Center's site today, and I noticed that they still have some stock of these Dean V's that have been Gibson ordered them to be discontinued. So if you really want one of those things, you should get on there and get one, because, you know, basically Gibson saying, hey, you have to stop production is basically them saying that's a flying V. So as far as I'm concerned, they're flying V's. Mine has a Floyd. I like that. That would be another disadvantage, is this is just another non-trem guitar for me. So I have this one, which is like my at-home non-trem guitar, and then I have my SG, which is like my, if I was going to play live guitar. Because the SG is even lighter. I don't know. I might say this and the SG are close to the same weight, believe it or not. This is really not that heavy. Like I said, the block kind of is right here, so slightly smaller than a Les Paul would be. But I mean, that's why these wings don't provide that much extra acoustics. Although I will admit, you might be able to mic this up on stage and get away with just using it as an acoustic. Of course, its sound is a bit thin. So, you know, there you go. The other disadvantage would be it is hard as shit to find a bag. Like, if you're going to go buying one of these from Guitar Center, you would need to get one of their Roadstar bass bags. That barely fits this thing. You have to pull the zipper out so you don't scratch this side of it, or whatever side of it is facing the zipper side. But, you know, any Guitar Center employee will tell you that these Epiphone 335s used to be terrible. Ever since the Kalamazoo changeover, all the guys at Guitar Center say these are amazing now, and I'd have to agree. This is one of the nicer fixed bridge guitars I've ever played. It's really nice, and I don't think, I mean, if you're a bigger person especially, these probably wouldn't look bad on you at all. I guess it looks a little clunky on me, and it does have a slightly carved back, which is kind of interesting to get used to, because it kind of holds the guitar away from you in a way that's not exactly the most ideal. So you have to kind of adjust your strap and everything, and kind of use your forearm to beat the curve a little bit and hold this towards you. Anyway, guys, I hope that was informative. I've got a pretty good lack of food headache going on now, so I'm gonna go find something to eat. On a small suspension from work here due to an injury, so I'll probably go hit QT Kitchen or something like that. Anyway, have a good day, guys.